The Yoyogi National Stadium, nestled right in the heart of Japan's capital city. It was the site of the opening and closing ceremonies of the 1964 Tokyo Paralympics, the spiritual home. But for the last 5 days, it's been the epicenter of wheelchair rugby at Tokyo 2020 Paralympics, and it brings us to the gold medal match between the United States of America and Great Britain. Well, the United States of America and Great Britain are the best two teams in the wheelchair rugby competition. United States yet to taste defeat, and Great Britain, the only loss coming against the United States in their group, and by a margin of just 2 tries. Earlier today, the bronze medal was decided, and it is remaining in Japan after they defeated Australia, who the United States put out in the semi-finals to set up this mouth-watering tie against Great Britain.
Please welcome your referees, Chris Shaw from Canada and Liam Costello from Australia.
Chris Shaw and Liam Costello to oversee proceedings. Chris Shaw hailing from the birthplace of wheelchair rugby, and Costello from Australia, formerly gold medal champions of this sport, deposed at this Games. A new team will take that medal today. So the reigning silver medalists from Rio 2016 make their way out, led by Chuck Melton and Joe Delagrave, the co-captains. The United States have medaled at every Paralympics since the birth of this sport in Paralympic terms. They won the test event at Atlanta in '96, and they've gone on to taste gold twice. They've beaten New Zealand, Canada, GB and Australia en route to present themselves with an opportunity to become the first ever nation to win 3 gold medals. It is a squad peppered with class, skill and physicality, none more so than Chuck Aoki, Captain Joe Delagrave, and for many people's money, the finest player in the tournament thus far, Josh Wheeler. James Gumbert, the coach, a face full of character and a head full of knowledge. He has done so much with this USA team. Can he deliver the gold they so yearn? Well, Chris Ryan, wearing number 22, leads out his Great Britain charges. They're the first European team to ever reach a gold medal match in Paralympic wheelchair rugby. They will be the first European team to ever clinch a medal of any colour. And pre-Olympics in the press, Chris Ryan stated emphatically, "We are aiming to win it." Well, they put themselves 1 game away, having defeated Canada, New Zealand and Japan in an extraordinary semi-final performance, dispatching the host nation and hot medal favourites 55-49. The Great Britain squad consists a number of high-quality, high-classification players. Stu Robinson, Jim Roberts and Aaron Phipps standing out, while Paul Shaw has done so much with Great Britain wheelchair rugby. He played the last time that GB met the USA in a medal match. That was in Athens for the bronze. He will be looking to come out on the victorious side on this occasion.
The Anthem of Great Britain.
続いて英国国歌の演奏。
Ladies and gentlemen, your teams for the gold medal final, the United States of America and Great Britain.
Two famous anthems and two great wheelchair rugby nations, a transatlantic rivalry that will see the United States start with Chuck Aoki, Jeff Butler, Josh Wheeler and Joe Delagrave, exactly the same awesome foursome that guided them to this final against Australia, with a bevy full of talent on the bench to come and relieve them and ask questions of a GB side who ran this USA team all the way to the wire in the group stages. Captain Joe Delagrave missing out on Rio, how much he would like to be the difference between silver and gold. Well, one of the famous USA wheelchair rugby rituals has just happened before your eyes. Bob Murray, who transcends USA wheelchair rugby. And it takes us to a cool, calm, collected Great Britain lineup of Coggan, Roberts, Phipps and Ryan Cowling. Johnny Coggan, the 32-minute man, played full matches against Canada, Japan, almost the full complement against the USA. And Aaron Phipps getting the start instead of Stu Robinson, the other high classification heavyweight in this British side. Phipps was used sparingly against the USA in the group stages, so he'll spring a box of tricks, but it'll be led by that man, Jim Roberts, in the 9 jersey. Josh Wheeler has been the perfect complement to the mastery of Chuck Aoki in the 5 jersey. Phipps distinctive by the white headband. That might well be a white blur for the next 4 quarters of wheelchair rugby. He's all action, he's high octane, and that man Roberts is all tries. It's the USA versus Great Britain in the gold medal match of the wheelchair rugby of Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. And the USA are in possession, wearing the dark blue jerseys, with Captain Joe Delagrave being harassed by Aaron Phipps early in the exchanges. A clustered picture close to the halfway line as Chuck Aoki steps into the quarterback role for the United States, as he so often has in this competition, and opens up the scoring for the USA.
Yeah, lovely start for Aoki, just good team wheelchair rugby, and they have epitomised that all the way through this Paralympic Games, the USA.
So Britain looking to respond through Roberts. 81 tries, make that 82 in Tokyo. He is the attacking linchpin for this GB outfit. The Brecon boy getting on the score sheet early.
Yes, he's had a fine tournament. Key player as USA come forward again.
Nice interplay. Takes the USA just across the halfway line, but you'll see by the reaction from the GB bench the possession will be passed over to the British team, and that's an early turnover.
Yeah, not what the United States needed. A turnover inside the first minute.
So Jim Roberts surveys the scene. The USA team happy to cluster the key and make things awkward for GB, but Roberts finds his running partner, Aaron Phipps, and he gets the scoreboard ticking for himself nice and early.
Yeah, good call to start Phipps. He had a fantastic semi-final, really injected Britain beautifully in that.
Well, we see his physicality in centre court right there, cartwheeling Josh Wheeler over, but he's got the smarts to release Delagrave, his captain. And Australia will level things up.
Oh, Wheeler too. These are, so many of these players have had fantastic tournaments.
There we go. That's the coach, James Gumbert. You wouldn't like to play poker with that face, would you? A master tactician. And one who actually guided the USA back from a 5-try deficit against this GB team in the final group game that decided that USA would finish top and see them unbeaten coming into this gold medal match.
Yeah, that was really interesting. It was a magnificent comeback, although it's all history now.
History it is, but that's excellent play by Wheeler, shutting out Jim Roberts. But he flirts with the rules a little too closely and sees himself banished to the penalty box. Britain will have the inbound. It wasn't a try. Wheeler leaving the court. But it only postpones the inevitable. Jim Roberts getting across for another try.
Yeah, he had no option. He wanted to use up more time on the clock there, Roberts, but had no option with 2 Americans on him. So we're back to 4-on-4.
So Delagrave, a big man in the middle, a fantastic distributor, links up with Aoki. Very much the point guard in this US team. But as we have seen, all games linking up telepathically with Wheeler, who's unattended in the front court.
He's just got this uncanny ability to wriggle free of defenders.
So Roberts attacks, surges down the right flank. They're going easy, nobody at home. A nice easy score for Britain, who've had to work to unlock the US defence so far.
They have just the one change of possession so far, which hasn't really had an impact on the game because the United States had won the opening tip-off.
Well, Wheeler is living rent-free in the GB scoring half at the moment. It's something to address for them defensively, but it's in the hands and in the possession of Mr. Nitro for Team GB. Aaron Phipps will wheel away to double his personal tally. Excellent work by Phipps, all over Chuck Aoki. Everywhere he turned, he found Phipps's face. And with only 12 seconds to move from the backcourt across the halfway line in the game of wheelchair rugby, Chuck Aoki forced into a timeout to stop possession being turned over.
Interesting there. Aoki did have a chance to pass to a teammate. Maybe just decided to err on the side of caution.
Well, when these two met in the group, there were many turnovers from the United States, which gave GB such a healthy lead at the end of that quarter. So maybe erring on the side of caution to learn from the errors of that group game. But one person who's picked up right where he left off is Josh Wheeler, who links up with his old buddy Chuck Aoki, top scorer for Team USA. 91 tries coming in to this gold medal match for the talismanic number 5, who does his level best to put off Jim Roberts. but he doesn't get stopped from there.
Well, there's two 3.0 classification players going at it there. Very evenly matched, those two. Roberts and Aoki are going to have a great battle all the way through to the end of this game.
Difficult to comprehend that these guys are 3-point classifications. Imagine if they were any better.
Well, they certainly play above their classification, which is a key ingredient to the success of both teams. Another player timeout's been called there.
Well, again, that full court press from Team GB reaping rewards, and it diminishes the USA timeout count down to 2 for the players. Excellent early pressure being applied on this USA team.
Yeah, I think we've seen evidence quite clearly that the United States don't want to chase the game. What I mean by that is let their opponents get ahead by 3 to 4. I realise that is going to be hard to come back from.
Well, Gumbert, seeing the problems that they're encountering, moves for a change of personnel, and Cone comes on, but it's not making a difference because Phipps has picked off the desperation pass under pressure from Wheeler, and GB move into a 7-5 lead.
Yeah, first time we've seen a team go too clear, just not enough power on that pass, and easily stolen by Phipps.
Wheeler, is he going to be picked off again? He is. Roberts making the interception. This is a chance for GB to go to 3.
Wow, that was very close call. What's happened there is a player timeout has been called, so Great Britain will retain possession. But watch this pass being intercepted by Roberts. Roberts got it back though, but then just after the replay finished, he threw the ball and there was going to be a half-court violation, as Phipps had to go back over the halfway line to catch the ball, and the player timeout was called just before he caught the ball.
Well, that's the second steal of the match for Team GB. They lead the competition in terms of steals, 26, which is 8 more than the next best, who are their opposition today. They've started as they mean to go on. Jim Roberts seeks an avenue down the left edge of the key. No dice, but comes round the back door and in and across the line, and GB lead by 3.
Yeah, good work by Coggan there. He created the space again. There were 2 American defenders trying to shut there, but Coggan had occupied the space on the floor.
A relieving try for Chuck Aoki and USA potentially, but Phipps, all energy, all confrontation, makes it awkward before Wheeler's then stopped by Roberts. And the USA just cannot get a break at the moment. They managed to squirm across, but dogged defense from Team GB.
Brilliant work by Aoki and Wheeler. Normal wheelchair rugby players might have panicked or just got a bit anxious there, but so calm. And
well, here's a bit of a collector's item. It's Johnny Coggan streaking away from Aoki and Wheeler and getting his first try, having been left unattended in the front court.
Yeah, Coggan, a 0.5 classified player, which means he doesn't have as good as physical function as the higher rated players. So really good for him to score a try in this gold medal match.
Don't let that fool you in terms of his importance. Beautiful one-touch play from Wheeler. The USA using their own low classification player, Chad Cone. But we haven't seen a great deal of the 38-year-old from Tucson, Arizona.
Well, a hugely experienced player. This is his 3rd Paralympic Games. Used sparingly.
Well, Phipps is a man in the mood and justifying his selection in the starting lineup over Robinson, who is preparing himself in the substitution box, actually, as we speak.
Yeah, I think it's a good decision to start Phipps. He was sensational in the semi-final win. And he's no question he's one of the best players in the British side. And to start, you've got to put your best players out there, because to be the best, you've got to beat the best.
And the USA, for many people's money, are the best. But if there's one thing Tokyo 2020 has taught us, it is that wheelchair rugby does not respect the script one bit, because it is GB who are the team in charge at the moment.
How clever was that play? Aoki stopped by the halfway, sucked in, drew on all the defenders, gave Wheelie the opportunity to find some space to score the try. Very clever.
Cool heads as well as big boshes required out there in the game of wheelchair rugby. A lot of experience in this USA team. One of those, Adam Scuturo, on the heels of Roberts, but Roberts too fast, too elusive, and too prone to scoring whenever he feels like it. There's Robinson. Great to have two such energetic players in Robinson and Phipps to bounce each other off. As Aoki weaves his way across the halfway line. Either him or Wheeler will score here. It'll be Aoki. Keeps it simple, scores the try. Delagrave and Butler readying themselves. As Britain with a 2-point advantage take the inbound, pop it in the hands of the man who knows only one direction, and that's the scoring key, Jim Roberts. Britain increase their lead to 3 as we approach the magic 2-minute marker, coming to the conclusion of this first quarter. Well, excellent movement from Adam Scuturo, who swivels and finds Wheeler on the overlap. Gorgeous play from the United States.
Well, wheelchair rugby is a great sport when you see that skill executed. Outstanding.
He liked that one, didn't he, Josh Wheeler? Well, Aaron Phipps almost got himself into a little bit of a bind as he got bookended by 2 US defenders, but look at the power in those shoulders, those arms. Takes a lot to stop that man. But someone who is a completely different style of player, but still enormously effectual, is that man right there, the 2.5 classification, Josh Wheeler.
Well, he's having a very good day with 6 tries so far. The United States need a stop here. But so far, Britain's attack has been perfect.
Wow, USA not too bad on the steals themselves, but they haven't required them as much because they're so difficult to turn over. But GB scoring with relative ease at the moment and looking to end this quarter with a 3-point cushion if they can manage the clock.
Well, and GB will have the throw-off in the next quarter as well. So America, or the United States, have to be careful here, otherwise it could be a 4-try advantage early in the second period.
Phipps spots a gap, puts his head down, pumps the arms. Good defense from Wheeler, making it difficult to cross the halfway threshold. Roberts under immense pressure, but composure, vision, and execution all wrapped into one Welshman means that Phipps will look to meander across the line with 14 seconds on the shot clock.
Yeah, they want to get this down to 15 seconds, the game clock that is. That's what Phipps is trying to do here. Doesn't quite get there. That's good work by the United States. Still should be enough time for Great Britain to score, take that 3-try lead into the quarter break, and then they'll have the first possession in the second quarter to go 4 ahead. That's their plan.
Well, that's the plan.
Can they execute it?
Well, they're going to have a couple of new faces, albeit familiar foes, in to try and stop them executing that plan. Joe Delagrave's back on Jeff Butler. It was a real fly in the ointment for the Australians in the semi-final. A trademark inbound from Ryan Cowling. He has just been superb on those in Tokyo. Johnny Coggan is fed the try-scoring opportunity by Jim Roberts. The USA try their best to get GB on the turn. They did so in the group game, but Jim Roberts' chair gets in the way.
Well, 2.9 seconds for the United States to score. This will be a Hail Mary pass. Rules are same as basketball. Clock doesn't restart till someone catches it off this pass. And no one did, so it's British ball with 2.5 seconds to go.
Well, it was a very alluring ball that got thrown in there. It's a shame, in fact, that no USA player could get anything on it, and it does present GB with a chance to maybe sneak another with 2.5 seconds on the clock.
Well, this would be incredible if they were able to achieve it. Just checking the official over there, Costello from Australia. So it is going to be reset because, of course, no one touched the ball, so it's gone back to 2.9 seconds. So now Great Britain will do the same thing.
And Robinson, who's just been subbed on purely to put the ball in, probably doesn't have enough on it, and Aoki will bat that one away, and he will bring to a close a very, very interesting first quarter in the gold medal match of the wheelchair rugby. United States of America trailing Great Britain 12 points to 15. Well, Josh Wheeler right there is a man in fine form. The United States leading scorer with 7 to match Jim Roberts of Great Britain. Aoki and Delagrave have been uncharacteristically quiet on the scoring front, whereas Aaron Phipps has relished his start against the Americans with 6. And Johnny Coggan, the lower classification player, but the man so integral to the Great Britain cause, chiming in with 2 tries. The Japanese bronze medal winning team enjoying themselves at the Yoyogi, getting stuck into a bit of YMCA alongside a healthy British supporting contingent. They're dancing in the stands right now because it's their British team that are leading the USA 15 tries to 12. Even Stevens on the timeouts. And while it's been a dream start for Great Britain, they'll be oh so aware of the comeback threat that this US team poses. Gold and silver on the line at the Yoyogi National Stadium, where Great Britain and USA are doing battle in the wheelchair rugby. Britain in white leading by 3 over the USA on the attack and being shut off by Delagrave, the new man Robinson. Just finding the going hard enough on his way round before he gives up possession for being in possession for more than 10 seconds.
Yeah, interesting to see Phipps out of the game. Very good combination with his teammates in that first quarter.
Well, an error from GB in the opening seconds of this second quarter. GB did shuffle the deck to very, very good effect.
Well, that must have just been 12 seconds expiring there by maybe 100th of a second.
Still more than 12 seconds.
It is.
Still more than 12 seconds. A couple of elementary errors as Cowling. Wow, how beautiful was that pass to an arching Roberts, who pops it in the breadbasket of Stu Robinson to get his first try and settle those gold medal match nerves.
Well, first time we've seen a 4-try lead now in this game.
He had a big, big performance against the USA. 7 tries and 3 steals in the group game. So the USA know all about the threat that he poses as Delagrave just shimmies past Roberts, who was shaping to reverse into his path. Delagrave too wise to the manoeuvres of Jim Roberts. Robinson given possession and told to go full bore, but he's smashed by Josh Wheeler.
If you ever want to see the perfect wheelchair rugby tackle, that was it right there from Josh Wheeler. What a shot that was.
Look at the fist pump from Aoki. Not only is that a hit to raise the roof of the Yoyogi, it's on one of Team GB's hard men as well. Goodness me, well, he shakes it off. But USA have won possession as a result. Those kind of hits, they turn the tide in big matches like this. And USA capitalise immediately through Josh Wheeler.
Well, that pass was thrown down a pipe. What a brilliant pass to Wheeler.
8 tries for the mid-category player already, as Roberts links up with Robinson. 3 points, the margin now.
Well, the United States have earned 2 changeovers in possession already in this quarter. 1 they've scored from. It's just a reminder that this game is far from done. Remember when these 2 teams met? Oh, that was a good shot, wasn't it?
Excellent shot.
Wow.
Jolting the ball out of Wheeler's possession into the chest of the GB player.
Well, I think the United States are fortunate to keep the ball there. But I was just saying, the United States was 6 down against Great Britain in their pool match, but came back to win the game, which is amazing.
The mastermind behind that comeback was Chuck Aoki. And if he was being Merlin, then his Archimedes is Josh Wheeler, who has just as much magic in his wheels.
Well, that's right. Aoki's only scored 3 tries in the game so far, but that won't bother him until he provides, as he continues to provide for Wheeler. And now a player timeout's been called by Robinson, as Britain were in trouble, weren't they? Under time pressure to get the ball over the halfway line.
Well, Stu Robinson's had something of a rough ride since entering the game, in the place of Phipps, who was really a force of nature. It's important for GB to get these combinations working, and also them to be as interchangeable as possible. Robinson gets all jammed up. That's excellent from Cohn. He dribbles, the shot clock is against Robinson. What's he gonna do here? He's short of options. Roberts is over at the back, and he's squeaking across with just 0.8 on the clock.
Oh, that was a hard-earned try, that one. But they all count.
Roberts almost dispossessing Wheeler. Coggan, the glue. Robinson will go one-on-one with Aoki. Aoki finding the going tough, and also Coggan on the spot to divert his progress. But as ever, missed the right place, missed the right time. Josh Wheeler chalking up a perfect 10 in this opening half.
Well, if we go through all the tries that the USA have scored, majority will be Aoki passing to Wheeler in a try-scoring position.
And I would venture that 50% of them have been in reverse as well from Wheeler. He just gets himself into those premium pieces of try-scoring real estate and takes his own sweet time as Ryan Cowling gets in on the scoring act. Very diverse offering from Cowling. We've seen his inbound work, we've seen his defensive snare-ups, but now we see him scoring. Good defence from Roberts.
Well, good defence too from Robinson, because Wheeler, but just before he called that player timeout, had a little look on the left, on the right flank as Aoki was streaking away, but Robinson was sticking to him like glue. So a good decision by Wheeler to call the player timeout rather than throw a 50-50 pass at best.
Well, despite the USA just beginning to edge a little bit more confidently into this gold medal match, Great Britain have preserved their three-point cushion, and that is what's crucial. And what is crucial as well to note is that Aaron Phipps is back on the court in place of Robinson. Robinson will have time to reflect on what went right, where it went wrong in the first quarter, while Phipps, I'm sure, will have a license to charge round like a bull in a United States China shop. Aoki back in amongst the tries, and Phipps with the ball in hand.
Well, Phipps just does that he just plays just that little half second faster than Robinson. Robinson, good player, but Phipps has just got that little touch of X factor about him. Good decision to bring him back in.
Extraordinary to think that he didn't play a second against Canada, and just looking down, 2 minutes and 8 seconds against the USA in the group match. Is he the secret weapon for Great Britain? Well, I'll tell you what, Ryan Cowling has done a masterful job of getting the chewing gum in the tyres of Joe Delagrave and forcing the US into another timeout. No more player timeouts left, and there's 3:57 left of the second quarter.
Well, Coggan and Cowling, 0.5 and 1.0 respectively, they are class players, as are the American low pointers as well. All the low pointers in this game are absolutely brilliant players.
Aoki, all class, all composure, takes a bounce. Delagrave, that's beautiful work. Who else? It's Josh Wheeler, everybody.
Well, that's try number 11 for Wheeler now.
So, interesting shape to the match here. Roberts attacking from deep, and the United States inviting Great Britain onto them, saying, come and have a go if you think you're good enough. And Roberts answers that emphatically. Hardly a shred of United States defensive DNA upon him as he glides through the right channel of the USA scoring key.
Well, that time Phipps created the space for his buddy Roberts. And it was a masterful piece of play from Phipps off the ball.
Good movement from Delagrave. Acres of court with which to play with.
And we've got a slight delay here as Phipps has blown a tyre. But they've been going pretty much goal for goal, try for try it is in this second quarter, which has had some fantastic intensity to it.
Yeah, United States leading the quarter 7 tries to 6. But let's remember that Great Britain had possession at the beginning and should really have the serve. If we were to use a tennisism, Roberts, no dice. Wheeler shutting the door. Coggan not able to get across the block, Wheeler, but Roberts has the strength and muscles his way across the line.
Oh, that was a beautiful piece of play. I was keeping an eye on the shot clock. It was down to 29 seconds. I thought Aoki's in real trouble here, and then just pops that beautiful pass down to Wheeler. Beautiful stuff.
Just the knowledge of where all of them are. You just can watch it unfold, and the patterns and the routes that they play. USA, a classy, fluid outfit when they get themselves going. More route one from GB, and in the power play of Phipps's hands. But that's smart from Roberts, who works hard to get round the back, and they dart through the gap.
Well, a wonderful composure again from Phipps. He was in trouble, he was trapped, he was in danger of giving up a violation in the key. But Roberts, with a little wink of the eye, said, I've got a gap here, mate, give me the ball.
Well, the high press from GB is creating opportunities behind their defence, one that Chuck Aoki gladly accepts to glide across for the try to reduce arrears to 2 as we enter the final 2 minutes of the first half of this gold medal match. And GB will look to score whilst manipulating the shot clock to their benefit.
Well, this United States defence near the key has been excellent. But more often than not, we've seen Great Britain penetrate it, which is very good for them. Now, what's happened here?
Well, the try's been awarded.
I think Coach Gumbert might have just been spoken to, perhaps. There was a little nudge there of the cone.
Well, the officiating has been absolutely superb all Paralympics. And while I'm sure there are a couple of suggestions from some unofficial officials from the USA bench, everyone in the Yogi's got faith that that was the right call. As the USA respond immediately, 24-22, GB lead the USA with just under 90 seconds remaining. Aaron Phipps, boy has he enjoyed himself out on the court so far today, but that's a ball that's going to stretch Roberts, who's clattered by Wheeler and Delagrave. He does so well to wheel away and come back with control. Just takes his foot off the pedal and assesses the scene in front of him. Wonderful play from Roberts to sneak in, but you've got to tip your hat to number 24, Ryan Cowling, who made the avenue available. Well, Aoki makes serene progress across the line, but in his periphery, he'll have seen his big buddy, Josh Wheeler, go cartwheeling after a tickle from Jim Roberts. Looked like a wheelchair rugby accident.
Yeah, I'm actually not convinced actually there was any contact at all, actually. I think Wheeler might have just lost his balance. Just as Wheel slipping on the, just skidding a touch on the floor. But regardless, it was a try, good one too by the United States.
Well, that's the speed at which these players are trying to execute these maneuvers. Wheeler actually upending himself ultimately, meaning that GB get the possession. Phipps just being a pain to anyone wearing a dark blue jersey and giving Roberts a bit of an armchair ride before a slightly hot pass is reeled in by Phipps. He's trying to manage the clock. He's trying to squeeze as much out of it as he can before scoring. Does very well, but leaves 5.6 seconds for the States to go long to Aoki. Will he get there? Yes, he will. And that raises the roof of the Yoyogi. They did it to GB in the group. They've done it to them again. How crucial will that turn out to be in the gold medal reckoning? Thrilling end to the first half of the wheelchair rugby gold medal match. It's the United States of America 24, Great Britain 26. Well, here we are. Hin perfect and Aoki arriving, flying onto the ball. And we see the face of, I think it was Paul Shaw in the background, despairing at USA, catching GB napping once again. Thrilling half of wheelchair rugby. It's the final the competition deserves, and Wheeler's stepping up with 12 tries for the United States. GB, Jim Roberts, has 13, while Phipps has been magnificent, as has Aoki. They're on 8. Delagrave's got 3, and Robinson with a brace. Well, that man Phipps, laser focused. His face widely known to the Paralympic public now. Chuck Aoki, does that man's face ever look flustered? The recipient of a jaw-dropping long ball at the closure of that second quarter. And how crucial will that try be? It means that the halftime score is the USA 24, Great Britain 26. Turnovers have been pretty even, 3-2. The steals, GB have really triumphed in, as has been their way the entire tournament. But those stats tell you that there is barely anything to choose between these teams as we head into the final 16 minutes of the wheelchair rugby at Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. Josh Wheeler's been the main man, 12 tries. The blemish of a penalty and a turnover and 1 steal for the American number 10, while Jim Roberts has put in his customary accomplished performance. 13 tries, unlucky number for the United States, but it's the 2 steals that have been instrumental in building this lead, which was out to 3. But was just eroded by a moment of brilliance on the buzzer from the USA. It's gold medal match time at the Yogi National Stadium in the wheelchair rugby. 5 days of competition boils down to this match. Gold and silver will be distributed between either the USA or Great Britain, with Great Britain leading the USA 26 points to 24. Jim Roberts, steely-eyed in his pursuit of gold, is being very ably assisted by Johnny Coggan and Aaron Phipps. Two contrasting players, one all energy and gusto, and the other, just like Ryan Gowling, all guile, all craft. 16 minutes left of the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics wheelchair rugby. And it's the USA who get the second half underway of the gold medal match of the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. They trail Great Britain by 2, 26-24, as Chuck Aoki, their captain, is fed by the number 5. Joe Delagrave reversing across the line, the gap down to 1. Well, will catch Aaron Phipps. And a 2-point cushion restored for Great Britain, who at one time had a 3-goal try lead coming into the dying embers of the first half, but for a piece of brilliance from the USA that saw Chuck Aoki sail across the line with only seconds on the clock. Joe Wheeler, he's been the United States' main man. Try number 13. Cowling being pressured on the inbound. He's only got 10 seconds to do it. And he finds Roberts under pressure.
Well, all about the stop here for the United States. They are desperate to keep Roberts in his own half for another 3 seconds. Oh!
Well, it's a bailout ball from Roberts, but Phipps is fast enough to gobble it up. He's impeded by Wheeler, and Delagrave's round now. It's awkward for Phipps, who looked to be coasting across. Fumbled by Great Britain. But I think it may just have come off Joe Delagrave's chair.
Correct. It is definitely British ball. A close call. Really interesting back on the halfway to see that speculator pass. Now watch this. just nudges Delagrave's chair. Roberts happy with that.
Well, he knows how close that was. The pass just dying on Robertson, unable to stoop and collect it. Tense times in this gold medal match. And as such, Roberts will retreat and launch a strike with only 6 seconds left on the shot clock. Coggan gets in his way.
Well, there's a foul. I think with less than a second on the shot clock, and Butler has gone to the penalty box. What a call there in favour of Great Britain.
Well, that will be immensely frustrating for Britain, who are restored to a full 40 seconds on the shot clock, not to mention a 3-4 numerical advantage. The discipline.
Wow. That worked out beautifully for Great Britain.
The discipline has been something to admire in this final. Very, very few penalties so far, just the 2, both to the USA. It's what you'd expect of these 2 top teams. Josh Wheeler in amongst the tries again. He just does not stop, will not stop. He was 17 against Great Britain in the group game, and he's up to 14 already. Jim Roberts linking well with Aaron Phipps. Aaron Phipps, the unknown quantity for the United States, having not featured very much in that group match that saw USA come out on top. But they definitely know who he is now, try number 11.
Well, he's made of tough stuff, isn't he, Aaron Phipps? He has climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. Most of us would only dream of achieving something like that.
Well, he did it in an adapted wheelchair before. The wheelchair couldn't take the toll anymore, so he did it on his hands and knees. So he's made of stern stuff as Aoki juggles, but then wraps himself around the defensive picture ahead of him through the back door of the right-hand side of the key. Excellent play from the talismanic American. Phipps 1-2, but over Jim Roberts' head. And right there, the USA bench know how big that is.
Well, what a turnover here. Just a centimetre or 2 above Roberts.
Oh, Roberts' arms went up quite late. It was almost as if he wasn't expecting it.
Well, I think it's fair to say he wasn't expecting it, but those are the small margins in sport that can have huge impacts on outcomes. But Delagrave's in trouble here.
Well, it heralds
He's okay.
the arrival of Shu Robinson, who had an up and down first arrival into the fray in the second quarter. Played a few minutes, scored a couple of tries. Looked a little shaky at times, but he's back on to make amends now in the third quarter as things are tensing up. It's 29 apiece. Robinson goes for the jugular through the middle. Roberts in the perfect place, and Robinson finding him with the perfect pass.
Just gone back through the stats, and when the Americans equalised, that was the first time the scores had been tied since the score was 4-all, way back in the 6th minute of the game.
So, momentum swinging the way of the favourites, the United States. But Robinson makes contact with the arm in an attempt to dislodge the ball. And it's Britain's first penalty of the match. We'll have another look here. Wheeler just arcing the ball back far enough to force the penalty from Robinson. He'll be released either in 60 seconds or when the USA score. You'll notice that the GB players aren't challenging Joe Delagrave because they don't want to give away a penalty try. If they give away a penalty try, then Robinson has to stay in the penalty box, but because they score it legally. Robinson's on the ball, and he's getting ready for an inbound.
Oh, big pass down court.
Big pass, change in tack as well from Great Britain. We haven't seen them go with the long range finders, but they do so successfully. When you've got a man with Roberts' speed, his nous, his knowledge of the court, pretty much anything that lands within his sphere of influence gets hauled in and turned into a try.
Oh, the reason I'm chuckling is that only got over the halfway line by an absolute fraction. That was a very close call. Remember, the Americans don't have any player timeouts left, so they can't stop the clock while the ball's in play anymore.
They do have 2 coaches' timeouts. But Robinson finding the going tough. He's turning left, he's turning right. But he's turning into Josh Wheeler's sizable pipes.
Well,
you can forgive a man with arms that big that they sometimes get in the way and cause fouls, though it's an argument to say that Robinson trapped his arm in between the ball, but be that as it may, it's Wheeler who goes to the penalty box, and it's Jim Roberts who gets the score for GB, put them into the lead by 1. And it's suddenly got a little bit cagey here at the Aoki.
yeah, it's been... Oh, what about that play from Wheeler and Aoki? They have got the 6th sense for each other, haven't they?
Well, you think about the great sporting partnerships and you think about telepathy, and there is something psychic, something cosmic about the way that Aoki and Wheeler play this game. Roberts looks to buffet Delagrave out of the way, but to no avail. Robinson just cannot find a way through, but eventually does via the front door, which is left ajar, and he smashes through.
He needed every ounce of his strength to get through that minute gap. Delagrave. Oh, it's still United States ball. Very near thing there.
It's a calm exterior for a man who nearly just turned the tables with an error. But that's why he's the captain. Aoki working in sweet harmony with Wheeler. Butler's a nuisance. Butler means Aoki's got time to find Delagrave, but Delagrave swarmed upon by white jerseys. The ball trickles free, regathers.
How did that not bounce on the line?
Well, Coggan continued to do sterling work. Will Aoki make it across the line? He does with 6 seconds to spare.
Now, let's have a look here. This was very close. Oh, by about 6 inches. Great work from Delagrave to salvage that.
Incredible work, especially with Robinson breathing down his neck, who's now breathing down the right flank. Bumps off Aoki. Have a piece of that. This is my court, says Stu Robinson. The play stopped to resurrect Chuck Aoki.
Well, we haven't seen too many tumbles in this game, but that was one for the highlights reel, wasn't it?
I mean, we can only see the back of his head, but I can only assume that that shot comes with a menacing stare from Stu Robinson as well.
Well, they're tough athletes, and they love playing this game because they love the physical contact.
That's one of the key attractions for this sport. The big hits, the crunch of metal, but the respect and the sportsmanship as well. No one out there looking to injure each other. Just to have a good old chair-on-chair action as Robinson winds up to fly through a gap. Just sort of tries to hop his way through. Now he's in reverse. and doing so well, pumping those arms to make his way through, growing into this quarter, Robinson.
What a brilliant finish from Robinson there. Excellent try. His fourth of the game.
You know, one thing you can say about Great Britain is the variety in the way that they can attack through Robertson, Robinson. But USA, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. If you're as liquid as that, passing between your players, then don't go changing.
Again, brilliant interplay between Aoki and to Wheeler, who goes over for his 15th.
Well, the USA happy to back their key defence and ask questions of the GB attack. They want to make them work to get into the clustered key, and that's why we're seeing Robinson in possession. He can go hard, he can go straight, but he's also smart enough to find the side avenues too. Aoki, score leveling try. 1 minute 35 remaining of the third quarter. Clock management, clock manipulation.
And Great Britain will get the first possession of the last quarter.
Coming into play now, Robinson. Chad Cohn, the man to reject him on that occasion. Roberts flies in to take Wheeler out. Wheeler does his best. But there's just enough room for Robinson to squeeze across, to squeak across, to give Great Britain the lead with 1 minute and 8 seconds remaining. Wow, that pass asked a huge amount of Chad Cohn. Goodness me. We could look back on that reception. Shrugs his shoulders and says, hey man, all day, every day.
Exactly, it was never in doubt. I tell you, it was in doubt. That was a great grab by Cohn. Timeout's being called.
Well, what do you think James Gumbert's saying there? We're used to seeing him with a wry, knowing smile, but it looks to have a bit more of a serious cloud hanging over him right at the moment.
Well, I actually think both teams are playing really well. It's been a very good half of, a very good quarter rather, of wheelchair rugby. Both teams are playing well. It's really interesting watching Robinson. The dynamic between him and Roberts is complete. Roberts has hardly touched the ball since Robinson's been on. There's a completely different dynamic to the way Britain mount their attack when Robinson is on instead of Phipps.
Well, this one, I was going to say would be easier, but of course, Britain looking to wind down the clock. They do have a player timeout. Whether they'll use it is another matter. The dribble is awkward by Robinson. 3 USA players around him. Roberts does so well to regather. Aoki, Delagrave swarming like bees. They'll use the timeout. And with 16.8 seconds left on the quarter clock, they'll have a 15-second shot clock. They'll want to try and use every last millisecond of that.
It's very important, though, that Great Britain score on this play because they get the ball to start the last quarter, which will see them potentially lead by 2 early in the fourth quarter. And that could be a critical score for them. So that's a very important play.
So they need to score, but they also need to deny USA from a quick counter.
There's a try.
Beautiful play, and absorbing as much of the clock as they possibly could. 3.8 seconds. The USA will ride this quarter out. They'll go in to the final quarter of this gold medal match, trailing by a try. It is the United States of America 36, Great Britain 37. As he said, that try at the death, key in terms of the scoreboard, in terms of the possessions, and it's Wheeler and Roberts still leading the charge on the try-scoring front. 15 for the American, 16 for the Briton, while Aoki has 13. Phipps 11, hardly seen in that quarter. Robinson growing into the game with 6, and the US captain, Joe Delagrave, more than contributing with a 6 also. The chant of USA ringing around the Yoyogi, looking to inspire the reigning Olympic silver medalist, looking to avert retaining that title. They want the gold. The last 5 years has been all about the gold. They exercised the demons against Australia in the semi-final, but they are up against an obdurate and inspired Great Britain. Jim Roberts, Johnny Coggan, they haven't missed a second. 8 minutes remain to determine who will take gold, USA or Great Britain. It'll be Ryan Cowling with the inbound to Stu Robertson of Great Britain, who lead the USA 37 tries to 36 in the gold medal match of the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics. And a huge play from the United States with only seconds devoured on the clock. Robinson upended whilst getting the pass away to Roberts, and it'll be a possession to the United States.
Well, what a play. Aoki it is with the first contact. And the reaction from Chuck Aoki said it all. Absolutely pumped.
Well, it was a 3-man press gang from the United States as Robinson weaved in. It was Aoki, it was Delagrave, it was Wheeler, and it was USA throwing their arms into the air to celebrate a big defensive win early in this decisive, this medal determining quarter.
Well, the United States need to score to really make it count.
Chuck Aoki levels things up for the USA with the early break, just as they did in the last quarter.
Well, really interesting to watch the American defence. They've completely changed. That low defence has stopped for the meantime, and they want to pressure the Brits.
Well, pressure may be. Aoki goes for another shot on Robinson. He's learnt his lesson and rides that one out. Remember, Great Britain with Phipps on the sideline, ready to go at a moment's notice. Aoki not strong enough that time to derail Stu Robinson. As Joe Delagrave gets lucky number 7, potentially, for the United States.
Wow.
38 tries apiece. As Roberts goes on the rampage, puts his foot to the floor. Well, when was the last time we saw him do that?
Yeah, the whole attack completely changes when Robinson's on, and Roberts doesn't touch the ball as much. Certainly doesn't score the tries.
Well, we saw a change in tack there from GB. Roberts going the length from deep, using his pace. Delagrave, incredibly impressive under pressure. Robinson with the big bump. Sees Aoki monorail across the line, but he does so safely. Try number 15. Here comes Robinson. 3 US chairs ahead of him. Coggins in to disrupt. Coggins doing excellently.
Yeah.
How many key interventions has he had?
Oh, fantastic player. Well, he's in his 5th Paralympic Games as well. Been waiting for a gold medal opportunity for a long time. Oh, that one has gone against the United States. Aoki was away to score a try. And all of the Americans are looking at the referee saying, why did you blow your whistle with that flat tyre?
Well, Joe Delagrave throwing his arms out there, politely questioning the call from the refs. But they do still have possession, and they do look awfully comfortable on the ball, the Americans. Not even a sniff of a turnover. Both these teams, as you'd imagine, as the gold and silver medalists, surgically precise in their execution of everything that they're doing at the moment.
Again, the Americans continue this high-pressing defence.
Here comes Robinson. Wheeler looking to escort him across the line. Bit of Tokyo drift across. Ayaz Buta, Kylie Grimes, vociferous in their support. Oh, Great Britain so close to the key interception from Ryan Cowling, but just slipping from the 45-year-old's grasp.
Oh, this was agonisingly close. That second grab at the ball.
Well, it won't be easy for the United States to get out of their court still. Shot clock against them, huge shot! Robinson has his revenge. Delagrave sprawled on the court. And the GB bench exploding in appreciation.
Well, no player timeouts left. And that was a front-on shot from Robinson, which was an absolute beauty. Nothing Delagrave could do about that. And Britain earned their 4th turnover at a critical time of the game.
Well, Delagrave retires from the court, and Adam Scaturo enters the fray. Chad Cones there, of course, alongside with Wheeler, with Aoki. Is that a tie-turning hit from Stu Robinson, having been triple-teamed earlier in the quarter? He's fought his team back to a break ahead. GB with a 2-point cushion, 5.5 minutes remaining of the gold medal match. Different personnel on the court for the first time in a long time from the United States. A little bit of a loose dribble from Aoki, but keeps his head.
Oh, does he what? Again, that could have gone pear-shaped for Chuck Aoki.
Well, Robinson will have the adrenaline and the blood pumping after that monster hit on Delagrave, when he's got igloo ice in his veins, because he shows a cool head in finding Roberts, who finds Cowling, who gets his 3rd try. And GB lead by 2. They have the lead. The US have possession. The clock continues to tick down. Aoki, magnificent all match. So calm, so considered, so assured. I mean, he looked like he was walking towards the line in terms of the pace, but it was just, he picks the finest lines, he spots the space, and also the work of his teammates around him, snarling up the GB defence.
Well, equipment timeout here. Problem with Chuck Aoki. So there might be something wrong with his strapping. So 43-42. Just 7 turnovers in the game. I wonder that last play from that man right there, Stu Robinson, when he thumped into the chair of Delagrave. Oh boy, that was close for Great Britain. Just think about that shot from Robinson on Delagrave and how, again, how important that's going to be in the outcome of this game.
The pass asks quite a lot of Roberts, but Roberts more than a match to it. I mean, Roberts is just a picture of serenity out there. He hasn't looked flustered at any stage throughout this match.
Total pro. Oh, beautiful. How about that? Wheeler.
Oh! All aboard the Chuck Aoki show. It's the greatest hits.
Oh, he had
from the great American.
He had 3 players on him there and still got a magnificent ball away. If they kept assists, an statistical category in this sport, Aoki, he would be off the charts right now.
Well, it's just as well they don't, so that you don't have to say that too many times.
Statistical. Third time lucky. Well, we haven't seen Chuck Milton in the game, but he's, like all the bench players in both teams, right on the edge of his chair.
He'll be ready and raring to go, just like Robinson is. Well, Robinson is growing and growing and growing into this contest. It's almost like that shot that got put in on him by the 3 Americans has awoken a dormant volcano, because he's beginning to bubble. And the eruption was the shot on Delagrave that has given GB this 2-point cushion that the United States are going to have to fight to overturn. Wheeler, number 19. Wow. 3 minutes, 36 seconds remaining. Plenty of time for the tables to turn.
Well, it's worth mentioning that if we're tied at the end of full time, we go to overtime.
The US know all about overtime in finals. It was right there that they had their hearts broken in Rio by the Australians. Double overtime it was.
But for that to happen, the United States need a turnover in possession. And the opportunities are starting to run out.
Well, it's a more expansive style, and that's been dislodged under huge pressure from GB. Stu Robinson has a chance to put GB into a potentially unassailable 3-try lead.
And a timeout's been called. What about this play from Robinson again? It was that cheeky little right hand that got the job done. Dispossessed the American player.
Well, Chad Cohn found himself isolated and under the attentions of a hungry Great British defence. And you're right, it was Jim Roberts' arm that came in. And what's James Gumbert saying? What's he thinking?
Well, he's used his last timeout now. The Americans don't have any timeouts left. Chuck Aoki. He hasn't won gold. This is his 3rd opportunity, his 3rd chance of getting a gold medal. It's slipping away for him and his American teammates.
But he does the slipping away this time. from the clutches of the Great Britain defence. Wheeler makes the take. And Wheeler scores number 20. Robinson, the ball every time in his hands, in attack, but GB offering the variety with Roberts streaking into the vacant backcourt of the Americans. 2.5 minutes remaining, 3 tries, the difference. Aoki threw the pass for Wheeler, but Cowling had jammed him up just beyond the halfway line, and the pass goes to no one.
Well, that perhaps was a gold medal winning play by Ryan Cowling right there. Particularly if Britain can score. Oh!
Robinson pumping the arms and making his way across the try line. It's Great Britain 49, the USA 45. Just under 2 minutes for Great Britain to defend this lead, this gold medal lead. Stu Robinson on the ball, in possession, streaking down the left flank, finding his running partner up front, Jim Roberts, who slams the anchors down before being bumped across by Chuck Aoki. What can the great Chuck Aoki do to turn this around? He's got bronze, he's got silver, he wants gold, but he's 4 tries away from making that happen. Roberts with another hit, Aoki riding it out and making his way across the line. Less than 90 seconds left. A face of stone from Paul Shaw. It's a long way to go for the gold that him and Britain oh so yearn. Cowling, whose block on Wheeler may just well have secured the gold. Finds Roberts, time running out for the United States of America. Aoki continues to try and do everything within his powers. Wheeler too, beautiful interplay to Delagrave. The clock is not the friend of the United States at the moment. 48.7 seconds remaining, Britain in possession.
Well, glorious try there to the United States, but you have to hand this second half performance to Great Britain. Fantastic performances from all 4 players out there.
Well, it's all coming so easy now for Great Britain, who can smell history. They've come up against an American side, the murder ball generation, inspired by those who went to Athens but fell short and eventually came away with a gold medal in 2008, the last time the USA sat at the top of the Paralympic podium. All the form said it would be their time again. But Stu Robinson slides across the line. He opens up the GB lead once again. 17.1 seconds left. One last time out. Surely, Ryan Cowling is going to be able to call himself a Paralympic gold medalist.
Well, Robinson, Roberts, obviously the cameras are on those guys all the time, the scorers, the flashy players, but Coggin and Cowling have been outstanding as well.
Aoki links up with his magic man, Josh Wheeler, one more time. It's desperation from the United States. They know the game is up. Stu Robinson doing all he can to keep a straight face, to bury those emotions that are just about to burst. He gets what may be the final try of this gold medal match, the gold medal match that GB have shocked the wheelchair rugby world with. The hooter goes, and Great Britain have won the gold medal. Britain came to these games daring to be great. They secured the first medal in European history, but they've gone one better. They've achieved immortality. They are the gold medalists of the 2020 Tokyo Paralympics.
Well, absolutely brilliant performance from Great Britain, thoroughly deserved. When the pressure came on, they really absorbed it and stood up. Robinson grew into the game beautifully. We didn't see anything of Buta or 6 of the other players in the game. But the other 5 that we did see all played absolutely outstandingly.
Well, mutual respect between these two great teams, these two great nations. It was a high class encounter. It was the final the competition deserved. And Jim Roberts there, who has spearheaded this GB team. His final Paralympics, Ryan Cowling with a huge intervention on Josh Wheeler. Towards the very end of the match that all but guaranteed the gold.
Well, it's tough for the United States, isn't it? They haven't been on top of the podium, as you said, since 2008. But Great Britain, it's your day.
Well, that man right there. Win or lose, the USA spirit remains strong. Chuck Aoki will be devastated. He couldn't have done anything more. But quite simply, Britain were inspired. A hugely emotional Stu Robinson, his first Paralympics, and a huge hand in this final. 14 tries and throwing himself around. The ball in his hands every time Britain went on strike. And as ever, the other side of the coin. With the elation of Britain, it is tempered by the desolation of the United States. Chuck Aoki consoling Chad Cone there. Kylie Grimes emotional. She left the sport of wheelchair rugby to pursue para swimming and didn't feature at Rio, but now she is a gold medalist alongside the jet-propelled Aaron Phipps and Jack Smith, whose first Paralympics it is too. Incredible scenes down on the court. The gold medal match has taken place at the Tokyo 2020 Paralympics in the wheelchair rugby, and it is Great Britain who put in a gold medal performance, overcoming the USA 54 points to 49. The stats don't tell you everything in a game, but maybe the turnovers that the USA conceded double the amount of Great Britain. Maybe that was the telling tale. The 4 steals from GB, all coming from immense defensive pressure. Great Britain worthy gold medalists over the United States.